Well, hello there. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. It is the queen, the king, the sultan of the Milky Way galaxy and electronic dance music, folks. But today it's not really about my electronic brand. This is Peyton 3.0 once again. This is the first episode of the behind the scenes of my life, away from the camera, away from the character, called the Queen's Tales, folks. The Queen's Tales, okay? Away from the glitz and the glamour and things like that you see online, and you know, all the highlights and things and professional and all that, okay? This is called the Queen's Tales. This is the first episode of a brand new podcast that I just created. So if you like what you heard today, please hit the like button, share with your friends, comment. We're about to get right on into it, but we're not going to make this a long podcast. I know people like to make them an hour long, honey. No, it's just going to be, just going to be short podcast episodes, honey. Okay, now you might say, is this truly a podcast if it's not at least an hour long? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ain't gonna be no special guests on here, okay? It's just gonna be me and my stories. So today's first episode is called I Can't Stand That Bish boss of mine, okay? So basically, I'm on my way to my job, right? At the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, okay? You know, regular old things, blah, 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 the same routine, whatever. I get there, you know, I already know it's gonna be some bullish. And the reason why I know it's gonna be some bullish, okay? Are you listening? The reason why I know it's going to be some bullish is because the place doesn't have its stuff together ever since MGM bought the place. Okay, MGM has somehow a reputation for kind of letting things fall to the wayside, allegedly, so they don't come out to my neck if they ever see this podcast and somebody shows it to them, okay, allegedly. MGM on here on the strip, because I live in Las Vegas, by the way. Shout out to the ravers and the festival goers. Anyway, the Candy Kids, hey. Anyway, getting back into the story. So, oh, you like the song in the background? It's called Smile. You can get a copy of the song absolutely for free by getting on my email list, which will be at the end of this video for you to go ahead and get on the email list as a thank you, okay? And a couple other songs. Thank you so much. So I get into the office, you know, I get upstairs. I usually get to work in half an hour before the time. And the reason why I do that, that's for work. I like to call it work insurance, basically, but it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg like a lot of these insurances out here that they be trying to pull. It's called, well, I call it clock insurance, okay? On time insurance, whatever you want to call it. Because I take the bus, okay? Ain't no shame in my game. I take the bus. I cut the expenses as low as possible, because it's hard out here for bish. It's hard here for queen, okay? I can't be somewhere in the clouds somewhere trying to keep up with the Joneses, having a car which costs much, trying to have a house. Honey, they don't pay me enough for that. And I ain't making yet from this business of mine here that you see as this brand. Not yet, okay? So I sacrificed the car. Just because you can buy the car, just because you can rent the car, just because you have the money to to somehow buy the car doesn't mean that you actually have the money. And I'm not even going to get into what that even means on this podcast. It's not about that. Okay? So let's get right back on into it. Cool. Okay? So the queen steps in to the building, which is one of these secure buildings. We have to have a card to get in and through the doors or whatever. People think, oh, that sounds official. But no, when you're there and you're just trying to get through things, you're trying to go up the steps, everything is timed, or sometimes you can't get to certain doors because they time the doors. So you have to go down and around and all of that. It's just to get through to the floor you're trying to get to and into the door. It's rather annoying. It's cute when you first get there and you get hired, but it becomes astronomically annoying and you just realize how horrible the building actually is. No matter how secure you believe the building is, okay? And that's another story for another time. But anyway, so I get in, you know, a couple of managers. The first thing I do is I go ahead and I open up, I log into all my stuff. Hold on, I put my bag down. Okay, I log into, pull out my stuff I'm gonna need for those 8 hours. I have everything timed, organized, period. I clock in, my iPhone goes off, boop, 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 try to clock in, and then I log into my phone because I work at a call center, folks, for the hotel. Has anybody ever been to the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas? Has anybody been to the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas? Let me know in the comments below. Share your stories. But I work at another building they have like 2 buildings. That's away from the strip itself, which I like. And a lot less people. The strip could just be hectic because everybody's trying to be on it. And I don't want to be on it because there's too much going on. So where I like the little building away from all the hubbub, just a couple of little miles away. So I sit down at my desk, okay? And I log into all the programs we have to log into, you know, get your email up. Get your email up. Get the, you know, little systems that you have to put stuff in for guests or whatever that they want or whatever complaints they have. Get that little system up. Get all your tabs up in Internet Explorer or whatever internet service you use. You know, all of that, okay? So I get all that stuff up. Takes me about 10 minutes to do it all because there's a lot going on, okay? And it's a lot that you have to be proficient in just one, you know, in just one position. Because that's really what it is these days. They try to give you so many tasks so they can save money. And do they pay us well there? That's debatable. I would say they pay us higher than most people in the customer service positions, but I wouldn't say it's sufficient enough for what we have to do. For what we have to deal with, I will say that is not sufficient enough for what we have to deal with. So I get there and there's a couple managers there that I don't know, I kind of get the side eye. I'm not really into the workplace at all there. I just kind of bite my tongue, get the money, and I focus on putting it towards my business and keeping a roof over my head that I'm trying to build up here and putting food in my mouth and clothes on my back, and that's it. Because my life is not in the 9-to-5 job. I just do what I have to do in this capitalist system just to get the money. You know what I'm talking about? Just to get the money, and it's tolerable enough for me not to just say, F it, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, don't mean I'm not looking for another job too, because if I can get somebody to pay me a little bit more money, I'm gonna smoke them, okay? I'm gonna smoke them, you feel me? So, this is one particular manager. He's a male manager. We'll call him Mark. Mark you know, he's about his business. He's doing his thing, whatnot. And I don't usually really have like that many problems with Mark, you know, whatever, you know, he's there, he's whatever. He's not really one of those consoling managers. He's just kind of a bam, bam, bam. And you know what? That's how I am too on a lot of things. I'm kind of a sergeant type of person. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of a sergeant kind of person. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get the job done. Bam, bam, bam. Let's get the F out of here, you know? That's kind of how he works. He can't wait to leave. But I don't know what got into him, because at nighttime, if you get the night shift, you're kind of screwed, because there are only a few of us. The day shift has a lot more support. The mid shift, they have a lot more support in the beginning of their shift. But if you got the night shift, anywhere from like 2:30 to 3 o'clock to like 10:30 or 11, you're screwed, because if it's a busy day, even if it's not that busy, it'll feel busy because there's only 2 or 3 of us and all the calls are coming in. Well, they have this bell that they press when it's busy, and a lot of people are on what we call aux, which means if you never worked at a call center before, that means that they'll press this bell. The aux means that you're auxed out. Like, it's not this auto calls, and all calls are just coming in. They're coming in without, you know, without any stopping. It's just the calls are coming in one after one, without you having to press the button to answer it, which is what they want you in at these call centers. They want you in auto for as much as possible. If they could have their choice and get away with it without it being breaking some kind of law, they would like you to be in it every second of the day, including your lunchtime. By the way, they get this hour lunch. And I know to most of you that sounds like, ooh, an hour lunch, yes. But here's the thing, you get in 1 hour lunch, which means you really only work 7 hours that day, but you don't clock out for it. That sounds like a dream. They give you an hour and you don't clock out for it, but you don't get any other small breaks in between stuff. You don't get like a 10-minute break. You don't get a 15-minute break. It's just that 1 hour lunch that comes a little bit later. And with a job like this, you need frequent breaks. It can't just be that 1 hour just because you're paying us for it, whatever. See, these employments be trying tricks, and they be trying these tricks. But for somebody like me who's up on how business works, how these jobs run, because I'm somebody who actually pays attention to this stuff and studies this stuff now, I'm the educated employee who's not fooled by the hocus pocus, okay? As I like to call it. Thank you. So this is bell, and it's not like this. It's like this ding 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 ding. It's this nice bell sound, but the reason why it says to chill down all of our back when we hear it is because, yes, a lot of us are on aux at one time. We're not. We don't have what we need to do it the way they want us to. They're still suffering with their numbers of how many of labor and shortages of people staying on the shift and not quitting, you know. And we at night we had to fight for ourselves, you know. So we cannot even be on aux and they'll press the bell because there's such a high volume of calls. So they want us to move faster, but it's like we're not doing that. And then we got put in these recoveries, which basically we have to stop. And if there's a problem or every little thing that went wrong, we have to basically write a novel for. You know what I'm saying? We have to write a novel for it. And so we have to ox ourselves out, because we don't ox ourselves out, we'll never get these recoveries done. So we have to come up with our own strategies, because these managers ain't coming up with strategies. They'll say one thing, but they ain't coming up with any strategies for if there's only one or two of us working these phones at night. Meanwhile, you got all the other people who are there in the daytime, because the way the system works with seniority and full-time shifts, it's really backwards. It's really backwards. And the employee in the end is the one that ends up getting effed. But anyway, so the managers press the bell, you know, every now and then when we're getting busy. We're like, okay, we just have to deal with it, whatever. I'm gonna tell you something. I just ignore the bell, because I'm like, listen, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I've already surveyed the situation in this job, in this position, and what's happening here. So I'm going to do what I need to do. If you got a problem as a manager about it, you can just put me into the office. We can have a conversation. But other than that, I want to do what I need to do for my own mental health and to get through the job. Okay, so that's what I do. But this manager that night, this is a few days ago, he was pressing that button, honey. He was pressing that button, constantly pressing that button. And I'm just like, and I knew it wasn't the female manager. Well, let's call her Dawn. I knew it wasn't Dawn pressing the bell, because they don't do it like that. They'll press it every once in a while to remind us it's busy, get off ox, whatever. Okay, cool. He was slamming the bell every 2 seconds. And I'm like, what is he even still doing here? He's usually gone about 4 o'clock. It is now 7 o'clock at night. Like, why is he even still here? And what's wrong with him? Why is he pressing the bell? Meanwhile, the female manager is coming around saying, are we okay? Are we all right? You know, she's coming around making sure that we good. Meanwhile, he's over there slamming on the bell. I'm like, girl, when is he leaving? He's not helping the situation. He's not in our shoes. And I feel every time I talk to you guys about this stuff, it goes in one ear and out the other. So what's going on, girls? Tell him to stop hitting that bell before I get up. And not come in the face. I said, he wants me to not come in the face. Okay, that's what I said to her. People around said, listen, because I try to keep it cool, cute at work, and just work. But there are some times where I had to put my foot down and say, hey, my head's up and ain't down no more. I got things to say. Okay? Then after I'm done, my head goes back down and gets to work. Okay? If I still have a job after that. But anyway, he finally leaves because I realized that bell sound had finally stopped. So he was gone. It was just Miss Dawn, you know, the one that we actually like. Yeah, she always makes sure we was okay. Or if it was Mr. Une, he would bring us candies. He's cool. He's a new one. He said he does things differently, and I like him. I really like him. He's the first probably male manager there that I really like out of all the male managers I've had so far. And it's been plenty of them because usually they go in and then they go right back out. But anyway, yeah, that was the story. So I was just like, listen, once I get up out of here, I won't forget about all this, honey. And I'm free. The phones are still ringing. The clock struck 8. What was it? 8 o'clock. So I don't know what time it was. And it said ding ding. I said, okay, ding ding. Let me lock off this computer. Let me log in my time. Hit this bell. Right on time. Hit the clock out right on time. And I was out the door without any remorse. Okay. Because number one, thing about me, because I know I know the game of this capitalism crap from all angles, in all levels, is that I don't work for an employer more than I have to. I do all that I need to do within those hours, and then I'm getting paid by the hour. I'm not getting paid by result. That would be a different story, right? I'm getting paid by the hour, so it really don't matter what I do or not. If I do poor work, if I do great work, whatever, I get paid by the hour. And this is a what is this? A will to work, a work at will situation in most states. So they get in a relationship for they can end a relationship for whatever reason or with no reason. I can also end it too, right? You gotta know your rights as an employee. Don't just be going in there just just accepting anything. Come with something to the table. Come with some knowledge. But anyway, that's all for this story today. Let me know what you related to, what you found particularly interesting in this story. Well, like I said, this is gonna be a short podcast, okay? So this has been Peyton 3.0, the EDM vocal sorcerer. Make sure that you go ahead. Thank you so much. And like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Yes. And hit the notification bell for more videos. Now, I can't let you go, ravers. If people who are here are not into electronic dance music, you can leave now, but make sure you at least hit the like button before you leave. But for my ravers, my EDM fans, my Peytonators, my Zombitrons, this is for you at the end here. Okay, get on the social medias if you're not already. But what I really want you to focus on is getting on the email list and getting to download songs like this. Because like I said, I'm not on any streaming platforms because my strategy has to change. Because how the industry and how things are, my strategy is a little bit different than most artists. Okay, I got a little more savvy, a little more business savvy than most artists, okay? So get 3 free unreleased songs by getting on the email list, and the easiest way to get on the email list is by the website peyton30.com. okay, peyton30.com. Get straight to the point, hit the button, get on the email list, put your best email in, not your dud email, and prepare for a nurturing sequence of emails to come your way, including the 3 free songs. Well, I want to thank you tonight. Thank you so much for being here for the first episode of the Qveens Tales podcast, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.